Join Trezor every weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the nation's favorite radio station, playing the best hip-hop, urban, Afro, and R&B on 99 FM.
99 FM. Be inspired.
In the news tonight, City of Windhoek secures 155 million Namibian dollar loan for new power substation to avoid load shedding.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening, I'm Maggie Forciero. In the news tonight, Ombudsman recommendation led to closure of police holding cells. Commerce region records high diabetes cases with nearly 7,000 patients. LPM refutes claims of local authorities' poor performance. Namibia dedicates $1.8 billion to rehabilitation of water infrastructure. And Business on One comments corner, sport and the weather. Ombudsman Basilius Dakuga said his office has recommended the closure of a number of police holding cells countrywide after an inspection revealed that some cells were in a deplorable state. The Otapi police holding cells are among those closed after the Ombudsman's intervention.
Advocate Njakua last month handed over the 2021-2022 annual report, which highlighted the state of national police cells in the country. According to the report, places of detention were overcrowded and needed renovations amongst others. Speaking at a media briefing today after a year in office, Njakua stated that visits to the Ondangwa and Katima Mulilo police stations in June this year showed deplorable conditions, stating that human rights of inmates and employees were not respected. As a result, Njakua has written and made recommendations to regional governors and police leadership on how to improve these places of detention.
Yeah, the police holding cells conditions are not that good. Many of them are actually very bad, and I can also testify to you that some police stations, I don't have now the names, has been closed because of the recommendations of this office. We can give you those details. I personally also visited police cells when I came to this office, and I will single out two areas where I was not really happy. The first one is not the holding cells itself, but the kitchen where they are preparing the food for these inmates in Ondangwa. My approach to that situation is I wrote a very strong letter to the Oshana regional leadership, directed to the governor and to the mayor and to the regional commander of that region, and then the inspector general, for them actually to find money to fix that kitchen. Because it's not just for the inmates, but it's also for those people who are working in that environment. So human rights aspect there is really not respected. The second one is when I visited the Zambezi region, Katima Mlilo police station is deplorable. I did the same. I also took that matter with the Minister of Immigration, Safety and Security, so that they can do something about that situation in Katimamdilo police station.
Advocate Njakwa further noted that the Office of the Ombudsman is a vital institution, urging Namibians to trust the office to address their complaints.
They have to trust this office. This office is actually doing good work because we are flexible when we receive complaints. We are fast compared to a legal system, court's legal system, because the court legal system is very complicated. They look at legal aspects of the matter, but this office would only look at facts and probably just the position of the law and policy. But we also bring in the aspect of mediation to solve their problems. So they have to make use of this office that often.
Complaints in the Ombudsman's annual report for 2021-2022 ranged from maladministration against human resource practitioners and local authorities employees to human rights violations such as access to healthcare and protracted court cases. According to the report, 84% of these complaints are resolved and 16% are unresolved.
There are data deals. And then there are Telecom Namibia data deals. And if you want the biggest data deal of all, you gotta get 31-day Jiva, which comes with a massive 50 gigs of data. Is it even possible to use 50 gigs of data in a month? You tell us. You also get 1,000 voice minutes and 400 SMSs. To get your hands on 31-day Jiva, dial star 130 star 780 hash and enjoy a month of mega data. Whoa, that's a lot of data, minutes and SMS. How much is that? Must be expensive. No, it's only 185 Namibian dollars excluding VAT. T's and C's apply. Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world.
The Ministry of Health and Social Services has recorded a decrease in diabetes cases between 2020 and 2022. However, the ministry recorded a rise in hospitalization of patients this year. This was shared during World Diabetes Day, which is commemorated globally on the 14th to the 16th of November. The event was celebrated at the Windhoek Central Hospital under the theme Access to Diabetes Education.
Speaking at the event, Deputy Minister of Health and Social Services, Esther Munyangwe, stated that diabetes is commonly associated with poor weight and lack of irregular exercises. She stated that 31% of Namibians were considered physically inactive in 2016, with 27% and 36% of men and women respectively being physically unfit. In addition, the Deputy Minister stated that the rise in diabetes hospitalization is due to the lack of earlier diagnosis and detection, amongst others.
A number of 794 people in the last 11 months, excluding October and December data, were diagnosed with diabetes compared to 965 people in 2021 and 1,105 persons in 2020. Hospitalization due to diabetes has raised from 26 persons to 48 persons this year.
A registered nurse and diabetes educator, Helene Samuels, gave an overview and shared the number of people diagnosed with diabetes in various health facilities in Windhoek.
So the Commerce region, this is just for, I gathered this information recently for the last 8 months. And it's quite interesting to know. Patients that were seen, new cases and also follow-ups. At Windhoek Central Hospital, the outpatient department, 119 follow-ups were done because why the numbers is low is because the clinic patients are more sent to go to the clinics to be attended then. In the intermediate hospital, Katutura as well, 456 follow-ups. These are now people that have already diabetes, right? And then the new cases, 53 new cases for the last 8 months. Katutura Health Center, this is now the center or the heart of Katutura. Follow-ups, 3,740 were seen with diabetes, and then new cases, 401. This is a high number, meaning that if I divide it, it will give me that every month they are actually diagnosing 50 plus new cases on a monthly basis.
News on One caught up with members of the public who got screened for diabetes. This is what they had to say about the Diabetes Day and the importance of diabetes screening.
Health Day is very important. The reason why I say this, then you can know your status first, then you can know what risk is there to prevent you from diabetics. Because diabetics, there's so many people in this world who are sitting with that sickness and they didn't know what to do regarding this problem.
The World Health Organization country representative, Dr. Charles Segoe Moses, overemphasized the importance of healthy and balanced diets combined with regular exercise, no smoking, maintaining a healthy weight and limiting alcohol consumption.
The Landless People's Movement's Bernardus Swartboy said that part of the local authorities and regional councils' performance problems experienced in the Karas and Commerce regions are deliberately created by the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Erastus Utani.
Swartboy stated that the unconstitutional amendment of the Regional and Local Authority Act in 2018 is one of the major contributing factors for the underperforming of local authorities, adding that the Minister of Urban and Rural Development is creating too many problems in this regard.
Part of the performance problems, even in Windhoek, are being deliberately created by the Minister of Urban and Rural Development. He is creating problems. They have gone in 2018 changed the Regional and the Local Authorities Act to say that a CEO can only be appointed with the prior written approval of the minister. In effect, taking away the power unconstitutionally of elected local authority councillors to appoint the CEO of their choice. And so even today, while we are talking about decentralization, SWAPO is centralizing on the other hand. 2 weeks ago, the same ministry conducted a workshop in which they want to amend the Regional Councils Act so that the minister can be placed in direct charge of appointing the chief regional officer. As they have amended the Local Authorities Act to give power to the minister to appoint the chief executive officer, they want now to replicate the same amendment to ensure that the Minister of Urban appoints chief regional officers. Why is that? The same minister who is given that power to appoint CROs or wants it, but who has already been given the power to appoint CEOs, is the minister that cannot even appoint a director or deputy director or an executive director in his office in terms of public service rules. But when it comes to the regions, the minister must get powers that the Windhoek cannot even give him.
Swartboy added that the legit principal governing bodies are the regional and local authorities themselves and not the minister. Swartboy noted that the minister is not a juristic person.
The minister is not a juristic person. In terms of our national constitution, the principal governing institutions of regional and local authorities are the regional and local authorities themselves. That's what the Constitution says, not a subordinate legislation. The Constitution says these are the governing bodies. And governing means you appoint people of your choice because you have particular political, economic, and social objectives you want to achieve. But now that power is being taken away unconstitutionally through an amendment that we must challenge in court, which will be found unconstitutional in our assessment, so that they can determine, dictate, and frustrate areas where other political parties have won major political victories and which they know they will never be able to come back to.
The News on One reached out to the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, but he did not respond to calls or text messages sent to his number.
Prevent cramps with Fabufarm's new NBA Cramp Stop. Developed to bring fast and effective relief from cramps in athletes, active people, and senior citizens. Manufactured in Namibia, Fabufarm's NBA Cramp Stop contains a carefully selected blend of vitamins and essential minerals to prevent cramps, with a full month supply of capsules. It's Fabufarm's new NBA Cramp Stop, your #1 choice in cramp prevention. Now available at all leading pharmacies countrywide.
NamWater Chief Executive Officer Abraham Nehemiah stated that the water utility has allocated a budget of 1.8 billion Namibia dollars for the rehabilitation of the canal that supplies fresh water to northern Namibia and southern Angola through the Kunene River. Nehemiah made these remarks when he accompanied the Minister of Agriculture, Kali Schleppwein, on a visit to Angola last week.
Nehemiah said the waterworks which are currently underway are expected to be completed successfully within the next 2 years.
The work in terms of the rehabilitation of the waterworks from Kalwek to Oshakati by NamWater is proceeding well. NamWater has got the budget from its own sources and also from the support of KFW to rehabilitate the whole canal all the way from Mahenene border post up to Oshakati. And as we speak now, the two portions between the Mahenene border post and Olushanya Dam are completed, and the water is already flowing in that new rehabilitated canal. NamWater team is also busy from Ogongo towards Oshakati, and they've also done considerable work in terms of the rehabilitation of the canal. So definitely we are waiting for these works to be finished in a possible time of 2 to 3 years, so that we then have full water supply to Oshakati when the new treatment plant for Oshakati will also be completed.
The mayor of Oshakati, who also formed part of the team that visited the canal, Leonard Hango, explained that the rehabilitation of the canal is necessary for the new dam reservoir being built in Oshakati, which is said to have a capacity of more than 1 million cubic meters of water.
The Oshakati Local Authority gave land to NamWater so that then they can build the reservoir of a capacity more than 1 million cubic, so that then we take care of the growing needs of the population and in the event whereby there's a breakdown between Kalwek and then Oshakati, then you can be able to maximally make use of the water that will be in that reservoir for the population of North Central area.
The Minister of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform stated that other than the land supplied for the new dam reservoir, the Oshakati Town Council has also allocated land for a purification plant which is being built by local construction workers and supervised by stakeholders from NamWater and the ministry.
I'm very satisfied that we have the cooperation of the city councils. They gave us land for storage of raw water. They gave us land for the purification plant. So we have a good team effort here where all stakeholders pull together to make sure that a secure water supply is brought about within the next 2 years, as I said.
The one-week visit to the transboundary water source in Angola was concluded on Friday, 11th of November, 2022.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
Time now for Business on One. 37-year-old entrepreneur Antonio Rodriguez is ready to live his dream of opening up the first ever logistics hub in the country. A groundbreaking ceremony was held in Walvis Bay last week to commence the construction of the Dormar Fishing Logistics Hub.
Rodriguez has worked his way up in the fishing industry to establish a successful company that specializes in the logistics of fish in Namibia and SADC regions. The shipping agency will be transporting fish to neighboring countries. The Dormar Fishing Company has more than 15 years specialized experience in and around Namibia.
Being in the fishing industry is not an easy business. It's very difficult, especially if you're young, if you're youth, and if you come with certain qualities that everyone doesn't have. In this room, there are many people that I know personally and on business terms, as companies, as individuals. The chain of logistics, from catching the fish to the end user who puts the fish on a plate for consumption, is a chain that Dormar Fishing is part of. And we take pride to be part of this chain as a leading fishing trading company.
The Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Derek Claassen, urged the members of the fishing community to assist young entrepreneurs with their interest in the industry and owning a levy to sell fish to neighboring countries to get access to the resources in order to create employment for the youth.
We need to look after our people, and especially our entrepreneurs, business people, young people that wants to make money. Not money per se, but to have a living, and that is by selling fish to our neighboring countries. Because in our neighboring countries, you have agents there that are looking for Namibian fish. But when our people is going to the big fishing companies and ask them for an audience is not even granted.
Walvis Bay Namibia Chamber of Commerce and Industry Chairperson Johnny Dowsep urged those put in the authority to make lives and the processes a little better for those who want to become entrepreneurs, and they should prioritize and be given opportunities.
And when you sit in front of a young man who has his dreams, but equally at the same time, there are those out there that wants to become barriers in him to make that dream a reality, is a bit painful.
The company has 18 employees, while the new logistic hub will create 20 more employment opportunities for the previous disadvantaged. The hub is located at the new Industrial Extension 14 at Walvis Bay.
That is all we have for Business on One. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude. It's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold on much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
This Heroes Day road safety starts with me. I honor our heroes by walking safely, do the right thing, and save lives.
This message was brought to you by the National Road Safety Council.
Now we look at Comments Corner on the story about 53-year-old Zakaria Alugadi, who died in a hit-and-run incident last Friday while cycling to work along Robert Mugabe Avenue. Tashia expresses her condolences to the Alugadi family. Longa pointed out that this is why the roads should be widened and separated to accommodate a cyclist lane. Kawaya said that he was at the scene on the day of the incident and was shocked. Melanie said taking a bicycle to work should be safe. Salam described the late Alugadi as a regular customer. That is all from Comments Corner. Stay tuned for the sports section right after this break.
We've always had the bravery to stand up for what is Namibian, from protecting our homes to fighting injustices. We still celebrate what it means to us and raise a glass to those who show their bravery. No matter how they take on the world, with all this potential in the land of the brave, what will you do to make this Namibia your Namibia?
Welcome back. Time now for Sport on One. The City of Windhoek, in collaboration with Coca-Cola, OTB Sport and Omulunga Radio, jointly launched the Kasi Cup tournament at Windhoek Sam Nujoma Stadium earlier today. The 10th edition of the informal sport tournament, which was last held in 2017, is an initiative from the City of Windhoek and aims to keep youth off the streets by focusing their attention on sport.
The tournament, consisting of 16 football and netball teams from the informal league, will battle it out for top honors on Saturday. Winners of both sport codes will be rewarded with 10,000 Namibian dollars, while second place winners will walk away with 6,000 Namibian dollars, and in third place, 4,000 Namibian dollars. Players of the match for both football and netball will each walk away with 10,000 Namibian dollars. Speaking at a media conference, the councillor of the city of Windhoek was optimistic about the return of the Kasi Cup.
This initiative turns the attention of the youth away from engaging in activities like drug and alcohol abuse, crime, sports, and recreational activities instead. It is also worth mentioning that the informal league plays throughout the year. Over 1,826 out of 83 teams. The Kasi Cup turns after a 2-year absence due to the lockdown, restrictions of the global COVID-19 pandemic, which had a significant impact on all sporting activities. Ladies and gentlemen, which were put on hold, it is pleasing to see that sports events are now gaining traction to a level where we can openly host sports events without restrictions. Director of Proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, this tournament is not just a hobby, but an event that brings people together. I cannot thank the general public and organizers enough in advance for making this event a reality once more.
The Strategic Executive of Economic Development and Community Services at the City of Windhoek, Zorelli Steenkamp, delivered the speech of the city's acting chief executive officer, George Mayumbelo, on his behalf.
It has been a long time since the country celebrated an event of this magnitude, and it is indeed welcomed by all the city residents with gratitude. This year's event seeks to restore our residents' psychological well-being following the devastating COVID-19 pandemic. As we know,